Welcome to Verbal Pig Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Before we get started, I do shout outs. Gotta give a shout out to Frank Tate, brother Thomas Tate, Derek Tate, Frank Tate, the former light heavyweight boxer, middleweight boxer, won Golden Gloves, won 2 belts, 41-5, 24 knockouts, from Michigan, resides in H-Town right now, and he helps and enjoys building the youth up to their desired goals and destinations through boxing. He has 2 boxers that's going to be in the Golden Gloves, which is going to be in Greens Point Mall at CDM Boxing over there. It starts today, Wednesday at 7 p.m. and it goes all the way through the weekend. If you need more information, just contact or Google CDM Boxing right here in Houston, Texas. And it's going down. Second part, or another part that I want to speak on, is Brother Ishmael Muhammad, who gave a dynamics lecture, which was held last Sunday on the 12th of February, that's 2017. And one thing in that lecture that stood out to me, and before I get into the lecture, Savior's Day. Minister Farrakhan is speaking February 19th, 2017 at Savior's Day. Have no fear. The future is ours. And you know that's going to be terrific. It's going to be a marvelous event, so make sure you all tune in. Check it out. NOI.org. Get all your latest information and your news. This is our time. The future is ours, and we're going to get into that in this subject today. But I want to talk about something that Brother Ishmael Muhammad stated on Sunday when he said he was talking about the 64-year hidden history from 1555 to 1619. And he brought up something very interesting, and he was talking about how black people in America at that time was illiterate because they didn't allow us to read or write. It was against the law. And since they stripped us of our name, our culture, our religion, and our God, how did they strip us of that? The first slaves, adult slaves that they brought over here, the white man went into the black woman. And the children that they may have brought over here that was from a black father and a black mother, the white woman taught those children till that first generation of adults died off. So the only person to teach them was that white woman, and she taught them English, Christianity, and in 1619, when they were able, or after they finished with the Bible, meaning after they finished putting slave teachings in the Bible, the Europeans, meaning turn the other cheek and slave, give your slave master your coat and whatnot. Then they allowed certain slaves to read the Bible, but you only could read a certain part of the Bible, and most of it, as Brother Ishmael stated, came after the 4 books in the New Testament. And so, what happened after that? You had children who who were once children who grew up to become adults, but they became a new type of an adult. They became the type of an adult that lost connection with their history and their culture because they made certain laws to where they couldn't continue to practice their culture. They couldn't continue to pray as Muslim prayed due to the fear of being killed. They were under a 100% total brutal taskmaster. And so what happened was the culture, the knowledge, the wisdom, the knowledge of themselves was gone within that hidden 64 years of making slaves out of Muslims who came to this country in chains, in bondage. And so what have you now is people are starting to wake up and recapture what was hidden or what was took from them or what was lost. And Brother Ishmael Muhammad also stated that Islam removes fear because you only submit to one God. That's always been our culture and religion. We tried to adapt to a culture and a religion, but we always knew that something wasn't quite right because our forward march into civilization and advancement of a race was being stymied, and we couldn't pinpoint what was the problem. Why do our neighborhoods, and you have churches on every corner, why does not that religion give us the strength or the knowledge and wisdom that's needed to conquer simple conditions? I mean, simple situations, because your thought brings into existence, in reality, the things that you think upon. Simple mathematics, planting grass, upkeep of maintenance of lawn care, painting, plumbing, simple upkeep around the house when dealing with a home. I mean, after slavery, all of these things became difficult tasks for us when during slavery and after slavery, we were building whole towns. Once that Christianity spread it seems like it zapped our will for achievement. And so, in listening to the lecture, Brother Ishmael also stated that, in so many words, and I'm paraphrasing, but in the sense that if you were a slave and your slave master came and gave you a book and he told you this book is from God and you should read it, all kind of light bulbs should come on. Because if what you say is true in this book, then I would be free right now. There'd be no slavery. So we knew something was wrong in that. And also, as a grown man, you mean to tell me that a child, a human child, whom they say called Jesus, was created without the aid of a male? That Mary had a virgin birth, and God touched her spirit, and a child was in her womb. And I'm getting this, and the person who had me in bondage gave me this story. We should have been looking at him like, we know God. We've been here on this planet before you were on the planet. And the only way we known in our history for a person to come on this planet is through man and woman doing what they do, and 9 months later a baby comes. So, I don't know, you can take that back with you. They told us that Jesus physically walked on top of the water. Now, these stories coming from someone who killed mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunt, nephew, niece. I mean, killed black people wholesale in slavery time, and we still having problems with the police in the present time. And I'm supposed to trust in some magical, mystical knowledge of people flying on clouds and walking on water and children popping up on the scene, but the woman haven't been with a man, and slaves, I'm supposed to obey my master, and nah, I don't want none of that. You can't tell a grown person that. But the truths of the Bible, don't get me wrong, such as a man reap, as a man sow, so shall he reap. I can get down with that now. That's a fact. Let's deal. You know, things in that nature, that's fine. But you start mixing spookism into it, you know, now we got to go out and weed out the truth of it and separate that from the falsehood. And that's in every aspect of life. You got to gather the truth or the math or the science in it, and then the falsehood of it, you put that to the side. It's like meat. Like if you bought some, if you like you barbecued or in the oven and you made a brisket or a roast or something, and you bought one that had a lot of fat, you gonna separate the fat from the meat. You know, you gonna get the truth, which is the meat, and the falsehood, which is the fat. You separating it. That's just like in life, in anything in life. The truth, you bring it in. The falsehood, you kick out. Well, I don't care what it is. If it's in the Bible, take that truth. The falsehood, kick it back. And we all know that ain't nobody black turning cheek nowadays. Okay, that came from the slave master, hit you on one cheek, you gave him another one. That does not work in real life. We not dealing in fantasy. We dealing in real life. It's not being the aggressor. No, but what it is stating is that there's one God. And the person who hits on you wants to be your God. And like God takes vengeance on a planet, on the people, he put that instinct in you as well. But since they filled you up with fear out of their religion, you second guess yourself because of the fear of what you think they might do to you. Now, God and man, let me give you examples, especially for black men, throughout this planet. The light of God, as taught through the teaching of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Brother Mr. Farrakhan, the light of God, or the energy, let's say that, okay, put it like this. Let's imagine a fireball Or let's look at that sun, which is a fireball. What would be a good conductor if you want to take that fireball and put it and put it in something, to have it be contained within something or be housed in something? That's just an example of when the Creator created himself, how bright and how strong that energy was, that spirit within, that fire within. The only thing as taught that could handle that that spirit, that brightness of the Creator's spirit was flesh. And that flesh had to be made up of the material that is in the universe, that melanin, that dark matter that could house the blinding light and energy and heat and sun and atoms, protons, neutrons. The only thing that could house that is the flesh that's that's on your body, the temple. But it's just flesh. It's just a house for a spirit of God, which is so bright and so magnanimous, powerful, that was the only conductor for it. And over time, that spirit is so bright to where you will see the flesh in time deteriorate, but that energy inside doesn't go anywhere. It's still there. It still moves throughout the universe after a person passes. And that's why the Bible, and that's why you'll hear people say, let the dead bury the dead. Because when you're alive, you know that that person is not through. That you just weeping over the fleshy parts. What about the essence or the spirit of the Creator, that melanated body or that fleshly body housed? That's the goal. That's the seed. That's the example. That's when you biting into the apple and you get to the core. The seed is there. The seed, you replant the seed, the apple's still rolling. There's no debt. There's no true debt as far as it's just all gone and that person is over with, and we erase you out of memory and history, and we move on forward with life as though you never existed. The essence of you always will be here. Always solving problems on both planes. You solve problems on a physical plane. Now you're getting ready to solve problems on a energy plane or a universal plane. Still doing your due diligence to bring forth freedom, justice, and equality throughout the universe and this planet Earth. Study to show thyself approved, and the knowledge that you study, you take it in, and you pull it out and bring it forth on this planet through your gifts and talents that the Creator gave you. So definitely enjoy yourself and read. I mean, that's the motto for 2017 is to read. Ikra. Read. Keep reading. Keep studying, because trust me, you gonna need it. But I was having a conversation yesterday, though. I gotta share this before we go, right? And I'm talking to some people, and they like, damn, Trump. More of my partner was telling me how where he stayed on Southwest Houston, some apartment complex, they rounded up 40 illegal immigrants. Took them on. Deported them. And we were like, damn, if they rounded up all the Mexican brothers and sisters who's doing this work, who gonna replace them and do the work that they were doing? You know? Not us. We trying to figure out who y'all have on the agenda. You know, hey, that's another tale we gonna sit back and watch. You know, just saying. Vero Pick Radio. We're out.